Ladies, gentlemen, things of that nature. It is clock management. It is 2026. I'm Kevin Tompkins. Of course, on your screen to my right, Mr. Andrew Cooper. Coop, brother, how you doing, my friend?
Doing phenomenal, man. I'm doing fantastic because this time of year, people don't realize the world is our oyster. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. The regular fantasy season's over. There's only one football game left. There's a whole world of speculation, right? Senior Bowl's coming up now, or it's going on right now.
Yeah.
Combine's in about a month. Free agency opens soon. You can do whatever you want. You can start a dynasty league. You can do best ball, underdogs open. We're going to do a little bit of that. I mean, you can do whatever you want right now. You can make as many bold takes as you want, and you can't be wrong for at least another 8 months, right? So let it fly.
I mean, you could be wrong in the court of public opinion, of course, but you
That
can't
matter.
actually,
That
you
doesn't
know
matter.
what? You just got to get your inner lawyer. You got to defend your take. You
That's
got
right.
to get out there. You got to put your fingers in the dirt. You got to put your hand in the dirt. You got to just get ready, get going. Look, the Senior Bowl is here. Nate and Cam White are at the Senior Bowl right now. Boots on the ground for Optimus Fantasy, of course. But what we're doing today, we'll talk about some rookies of it as much as we certainly can. But it's best ball season. The big board came out for Underdog, and we will be diving into that. But let's wrap a bow on 2025, shall we? Let's give it a nice little send off, and let's get into 2026 with a bang. But before we do that, look, we don't know everything as much as we think we know everything. We are not, as you would say, Coop, we are not Johnny Fortune Teller. We cannot, predict everything with 100% accuracy. No fantasy analysts certainly can. But what is one thing that you can take from 2025 to bring with you in 2026? Maybe something you learned that maybe you didn't already know, but that maybe something you confirmed. I mean, what you got?
I'll tell you, this year more than any other year emphasized to me how customized you have to be with waivers. Because more than any other year this year, I played in a lot of different leagues. I had to step in and do the Kings Classic, which is like a 14 team, very deep bench league. I played in Chuck Bass had this league called the Ozempic Trials that was like super weird and it was like cutting guys. And I also played in some shallow leagues, just like some different formats. And it really truly made me recognize like how different you have to treat every league. Like if you're in a very deep league, you got to drop the bag early and often because guys just do not show up and all the handcuffs are rostered, right? And something like Kings Classic, every handcuff is drafted and rostered. Very few guys are coming out of the woodwork. Like I ended up winning because I dropped like 30% of my budget on Michael Wilson. And at the time it felt crazy. But when you see how shallow it is out there, those are the shots you got to take. And then there's other leagues where you look at the common waiver advice, right? If you're playing in a casual 10-team work league, you look at the waiver advice. If you're using, just random waiver articles from the internet, you're going to drop 97% of your budget by week 3. And it's going to be a waste because it's not right for that format. So this year more than ever, I really kind of by branching out a little more recognized what people are going through out there. And I, by the end of the year, I was kind of changing the way I write my own waiver article, just trying to give people a little more customized advice. And that's why we encourage people to become members of Fantasy Alarm because you can get legitimate advice or become members, wherever you trust people, because then you can get customized advice and send a screenshot of your league and stuff. Because this year more than ever, you got to be real careful with those, real careful in your leagues.
Yeah, and I think also, with the customization, I think what the kind of production you're looking for as well. Because are you looking for upside? Are you looking for a running back that you can stash, maybe like a Bashal Tootin? Are you looking for somebody that could possibly be, a home run hitter down the stretch? Are you looking for a Kenny Gainwell, a guy that can get you points this week, maybe even the next week? Like, look what he did in Dublin. Like, I think a lot of people, obviously, that was a 25-point game from Kenny Gainwell. That probably won people weeks. That probably, in tight leagues, that got you in the playoffs. And from there, who knows? But, Michael Wilson was clearly a guy that got a lot of people over the hump too. So knowing what exactly you need And, you know, not a lot of waiver articles are really going to kind of hammer that. Like, I think they do kind of mention that, you know, maybe this is going to be like a 1 week thing, or maybe it's a rest of season ad. But by and large, like, I think you
Right.
got to be very cognizant of the kind of production you're looking for versus who the name is.
This is the time of year to really look into that type of things and get better at strategy and get better at roster construction and learn about those type of things. That way, when you're in the grind of the season and it's hectic and everyone's telling you a million different things, you know what you're doing. You know, okay, I have 4 wide receivers I can trust. I need upside here. Or you're looking at it and you're saying, man, I have basically 1 wide receiver. I need some sort of safety. Once you get a better grip on roster construction, waivers become a lot easier. And you know, this is you have a whole offseason here to get ready for that kind of stuff before July and August hit. And I'll tell you, one of the best ways to practice that kind of thing is best ball, right? Go in there and figure out what it's like to build a balanced lineup, what it's like to look at your early draft and say, wow, I really didn't invest enough at running back. Now I need to get myself some floor, get myself some upside, and build a running back room. The more best ball you do, the easier it is to understand roster construction. And no better time to start than early.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I just will say, because I think you'll maybe appreciate this a little more, you know, than some of our listeners certainly, who've kind of been through the grind with me. Some humility is something I learned this year. Because look, again, can't be Johnny Fortune Teller. I famously faded Christian McCaffrey this year because of a lot of the injury stuff. And you know what? We could take all, you know, we see all the news that came out certainly in June and July about his health. And you know what? I kind of just ignored it. I put it in the back of my mind. This is Christian McCaffrey. He played 4 games last season. He's, you know, he'll be healthy 1 year and play 2 games the next. And you know what? It's time to just kind of take some of the preconceived things out and look at what people are telling you, what people that are in the buildings, the Matt Mayakos, the all those people, you know, the all the beat writers that you know
Nick
from that
Underhill, the people you
Nick.
trust,
Yeah, I was
right?
trying to think of
Because
you know,
there's so many that I don't necessarily trust, but then you know there's a few that are great, and then
yeah,
they're unbiased. Evan Lazar, you know, like they just tell you exactly
yeah,
the
Jordan
truth.
Hughes.
Yeah, Evan Lazar, I love him and Connor Barth because they're Patriots guys.
Yeah.
They always operate in the objective, but then when they go subjective, they tell you. That's what I love is they have this basically they say like, here's my opinion, right? And it's not just a mix of opinion and fact. It's like it's almost all fact, and then they will say, now that I've given you the facts, here's what I think. And it's just easier as a fan when they actually do that versus a lot of these people out there. I don't really want to name names, but like that will Omar Kelly, that will literally just go out and say they'll literally just go out and say everything as if it's fact. And then after the fact, they come back and they're like, oh, well, yeah, it's my job to speculate on the team. It's like, come on.
Yeah, we don't need to name names like Elliot Shore or Elliot
Right.
Shore Parks or anything like that.
Exactly.
No, but you know, before we get into the best ball stuff, I do kind of want to dig into some of the well, if it'll come up here. So let me actually this is some of the quick rankings here. This is some of the early ADP from Underdog before we get into these contests. Look, are you good with Bijan at 101, knowing we've got Kevin Stefanski coming in? Obviously the Browns brain trust, if you will, of Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Reese overseeing now Bijan Robinson, obviously Puka, Jamar Chase, Jameer Gibbs, JSN. Like these are not very surprising names up top here. You know, Jonathan Taylor, I think is very interesting. I think we got to see what the Colts are gonna do at quarterback, but and then going down, Christian McCaffrey, obviously back in the first round to start 2026. James Cook, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Achan. Honestly, as an Achan guy, and knowing that we're out of the Mike McDaniel, probably a lot of the condensed stuff, I have a little bit of a hard time with Devon Achan up that high in the
Well,
first round. I don't know what you think, but
well, good news, brother, because I literally wrote a blurb on him that said the same thing that you just said. And then they announced that they were hiring Bobby Slowick, the pass game coordinator. And
let's hope
Bobby
you learned
Slowick,
something.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Bobby Slowick, I think he did a great job when he went to the Texans. So Bobby Slowick was with the 49ers when McDaniel was there. He went to the Texans and he put in that same offense with the fullback. They were using Adam Prentice as the fullback at the time. I think he was like third in the league in fullback snaps. And they used the 2 tight end sets, and they basically just used the top 2 wide receivers, and Nico Collins and Tank Dell. And that was the best year CJ Stroud had. And then the next year, they tried to make him use 3 wide receiver sets, and they traded for Stephon Diggs. And Slowick, that's not his scheme. That's not what he does. So not only did Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs get hurt, but they just ended up firing him. And then he obviously went back to work with the people he knows with Mike McDaniel, and right back to doing his thing. And the firing of McDaniel and the hiring of Slowick basically tells me that the Dolphins liked the scheme. They just didn't like the leadership, because they're hiring another dude that does the same thing. So for me, I did a 180 on Devon Achane, and for about 3 days there, I was kind of, having him as a hold, possibly even sell in Dynasty, and now he's back to being a buy for me. So I have no problem with basically any of those guys in the top 10. I don't know why I'm just never super duper bullish on James Cook. I know this is half PPR, which is a little better for him. I don't love that he doesn't play doesn't get a ton of targets, but I mean, there's really, with the first round, I'm such a volume player that I really only strongly deviate from ADP if I find myself ending up being way behind in ownership on a certain player,
Right. And we want to be price, cognizant as well, too. So if there's somebody we truly believe in that is mispriced, that's where your exposures go up on a player, too. And obviously that's going to change big time as, off season progresses, free agency, training, obviously things like that. But, that's the beauty of starting stuff this late or this early. I mean, is that you're not going to get out of whack with any of the exposures.
Yeah, and you can get loaded up on players you like. I will. So early on, I just kind of stick fairly close to ADP, and then I will draft as if I'm right later, and take those guys a little more, because if you are right, then those guys will start moving up the draft board, and you won't be able to get them as much, and then you'll even out. Like last year, I think I only had 2 players that I was even over 30% rostership on, which were Michael Pittman and Drake May, which worked out okay. Michael Pittman fell off pretty hard down the end. Drake May was good, but like I just try to ideally get really good closing line value. That's like the end. That I think that has proven, especially lately, to be the most important indicator in the giant tournaments, is to like have the right players, but also have them at a good price.
Right. Yeah. Because if you can get those guys, especially with this, if you're looking at like the rookies and you're really in tune with the rookies in college football, this is the best price you're going to get on most of them now.
Yes. I've been saying this to people, especially on Reddit. One of my top Reddit comments on the Dynasty subreddit is encouraging people over there to play best ball, to play campus to kin, to create their own league where the draft is before the NFL draft, because there are so many people that put in so much effort and great work. People are doing incredible work. People are down at the Senior Bowl right now, and they're
doing it right here. Yeah.
They're doing great work on the guys before they're being drafted, but there's really not a great game to capitalize on that. Somebody needs to come out, Kev, and create a contest that is just, rather than like a mock draft contest, it's just fantasy football based, but you're like picking where guys go and which just position players. That's fantasy based, because I feel like so many people do all this crazy research and then they just are playing a regular dynasty draft, and the draft smooths everything out, and all your casual players in your league 4 days after the draft even have all the information that you have and the benefit of draft capital. It's like, I'm not even necessarily saying don't do it, but find a way to take advantage of it, right? And best ball is a great way to do it. For me, I haven't even really dug in on the rookies yet, but I know the major names. But it's like, I don't know. There's got to be a game in between, Kev. We gotta do something. Somebody come up with a contest, right? Like, how would you like, maybe okay, you got to pick the order the wide receivers get drafted in, a point for the round they get drafted in, and then maybe like bonus points if you can somehow pick a team. right? Or maybe you rank your wide receiver needy teams or something like that. But there's got to be
Right.
something.
Yeah, like if you select a guy to go in the first round, like, and if he goes in the third round, it's like -5, -5 per round or something like that,
Right.
something like that. But that would be pretty cool.
Right. Like people act like you get some sort of money or something for being first on social media. It's like nobody cares. Nobody
Yeah.
cares. Nobody even checks. Nobody even goes back to check who was first on Colston Leveling. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
You,
the
you get your
reality.
11,000 likes and you move on with your day.
Right. Yeah. The person who was first on Colston Loveland was Brandon Huffman, who met him when he was like 13 years old. So you're
Bingo card.
never right. You're never going to be first. You're never going to be first. So I don't know. I just feel like there's got to be a game, some sort of game for those people. I want it because I would get way more involved in that if there was some sort of benefit. But there's no benefit to being first, only for being right.
Right. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I think,
We'll
we got
brainstorm
enough
off
sharp
mic.
people.
We'll
Huh?
brainstorm off mic, dude. Right?
Yeah, we'll do that. There's enough smart people out there. Look, I'm an idea guy. Not a implementing that idea guy. So look, smarter people than me can certainly figure that out. But
I usually bring
uh,
ideas like that to Jeremy at the subreddit, and then he
yeah,
finds the right people.
yeah, man, absolutely. All right. Well, if you want to get in on this big board, I'm gonna click this in just
Yeah.
a few seconds. So, this is just open, so we should get into a room right away. 20 seconds per pick, as we talked about, half PPR on Underdog Fantasy, 20 rounds up from the typical 18 rounds because of the rookies, because we don't have a lot of the information yet. Obviously, this is pre-free agency. This is pre the season even ending. We just got rookies in here, so let's get in here. Let's
Yeah. Now I got to ask. I know you were big on going tight end early with Bowers and McBride, and Bowers obviously had his issues, but he still was pretty good when healthy. Are you still rocking with that? Is McBride a guy you would take in the first round?
I think I'm gonna pick my spot. I want to see what they're gonna do at quarterback. What Arizona's gonna
Right.
do, but
Both teams, right?
yeah,
The Raiders too.
I mean, look, Bowers, I think, is gonna have a bit of a discount, and I'm okay with that. I think I'm gonna be a little more because my biggest exposures last season were Matthew Stafford and Brock Bowers. So, one obviously hit, but those quarterbacks don't hit, especially without the rushing upside. They don't hit as much as you would think they would.
Right.
But taking a tight end at the end of the first round and him not, obviously injuries and everything like that, but that kind of cripples you. So
right. Stafford was going off the board at QB 24 though, so
right,
forget the rushing
exactly.
upside. Like that's a hit every day of the week.
That was pre-Airstream, by the way. Pre-Airstream at training camp. We are 109, by the way. So, look, I mean, I'm not. This is. I want the Coop experience. Look, this is. We're just gonna fly by the seat of our pants here because it's gonna be pretty typical to what we've seen. Obviously, JSN was not as high. And Jahmyr Gibbs goes 102 here. But some interesting stuff here. Where I look at a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown and I see he's like a 1.5 tier between the Chase, JSN, Lamb contingent, and then kind of is that barrier to the London neighbors Jefferson. But I think Amon-Ra is closer to that first year than he is the second.
Yeah, I think for me, like if we go, so who's gone? Bijan, Gibbs, Nakua, Chase, JSN, and then if we go Lamb, Taylor, CMC, Achan, then I'm cool with any one of those guys. I like moving Achan ahead here with the information that we talked about early on the show. So if we were to put him ahead of James Cook and Amon-Ra St. Brown, that feels like a nice next three options here. I mean, like I like Taylor or CMC. Okay. I mean, Taylor and CMC, those two guys, like there's only 6 players in the whole league here. Yeah, so I like Achan there.
Yeah.
There's only 6 players in the whole league that average 100 yards from scrimmage for their whole career, right? It's Bijan, Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, and Puka Nakua, and one more, and I forget, it's a running back. I think it's actually Saquon. It's Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
So that's I mean, there's those guys are like kind of the freak squad, man. Achane sitting there at 98 yards. So is Jamar Chase. So they're right on the fringe there. So I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy with anyone in this range here. What do you think about Malik Neighbors there? I mean, like coming off injury, but he's such a target machine.
Yeah, that's going to be because the Giants are set up with a core on offense, and that's going to be a very. I mean, between him and Scatabo and Neighbors, like I think they're set there, and obviously Wandale, a bit too. Like I'm totally fine with like that core. I just want to see, and we'll see if John Harbaugh can give that some stability. We're back up here, so that next group of wide receivers does not feel as clean with Pickens and Collins, but I'm okay with the running back here, and we can kind of figure it out.
I kind of love Hampton for just the
with
same
McDaniel.
reason. Yeah, with the same reason we're in on Achane still. Oh, it auto picked us Genty.
So I forgot 20 seconds. That's fine. Look, we still got a second round guy, and we got to hope and pray that the Raiders can feel a functional offense here.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Genty is that I don't think there's anybody out there saying that he's not good. And those are always the guys I want to invest in because for a number of years we had situations like that with Barkley. We've had it with a bunch of tight ends too, where people would say oh, that guy's not good, but the situation's bad. In Dynasty, things always sort themselves out. In redraft, especially best ball, I'm willing to bet that I just willing to bet on good players. But I just think Hampton's great and in a great situation. That's why I'm going to rank Hampton ahead of Genty. I don't think people realize how bad Greg Roman is in terms of throwing to running backs. Go look at Frank Gore, the 4 years that Greg Roman was the coordinator for the 49ers. Frank Gore went from catching 50 plus balls a year. I think it was averaging 55 receptions to averaging 17. And that's Greg Roman. Whereas Devon Achane, I mean, this scheme, the two guys that have played run the most routes over the last 2 years from a wide receiver spot as running backs have been Christian McCaffrey and Devon Achane. And the two coaches are best friends that run the same scheme. So I want guys. Those guys have unparalleled upside. Christian McCaffrey caught 100 passes.
Yeah, well, and one good thing about the Chargers is that it seems like Jim Harbaugh is very more hands off with the offense and letting kind of the offensive coordinator kind of dictate things. Where we've seen obviously the whole Greg Roman thing, and now bringing in Mike McDaniel, who you got to figure has a lot less on his plate now that he's not a head coach. And he feels like a guy that's going to be a much better OC, kind of like the Wade Phillips kind of deal where, he wasn't that great. He was fine as a head coach, but a way better coordinator. Better. Dick LeBeau. So, I mean, not quite to that degree, but that kind of mindset.
Josh McDaniels, Steve Spagnuolo, it's a different game. It's a totally different thing to be a leader versus to be somebody that works behind the scenes. So I'm all for it. And I'll tell you, I truly believe that when people realize that, when people start putting it all together and they're okay, well, Mike McDaniel's a good coordinator and the offensive line was super hurt, but they have a good offensive line with Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, and they have a good quarterback in Justin Herbert. I think that, jot this down. This July, Omarion Hampton will be going in the first round of these drafts.
Yeah, wouldn't doubt it. We're back up here in a second. Probably a good wide receiver pick, and I'm okay with going a little deeper into for Ladd McConkey or T. Higgins. I don't mind either of those. What are your thoughts?
I'm down for either one. It's a good format for T. Higgins, but I also love McConkey with this new scheme. So you pick on that one. I'm down for either.
Let's go Ladd McConkey. Let's dive into the Chargers here a little.
The high consolidation. That's what it is.
That's what I want. I'm hoping that we get some more and that's kind of the thing with my thought with Achane is that we're not getting some of the consolidation. We're likely not getting some of that we've been used to with the Miami Dolphins, but hopefully with the Chargers, we're getting some of that, laser focused. Let's get the ball to our guys and, let that be what drives us instead of throwing the ball to 37,
different guys,
tight end 4 and, Scott Matlock and,
I think Scott Matlock's going to play a ton. I think he's going to play.
He probably is. He's our new Alec Ingold.
Right. Alec Ingold. So I think Matlock and the tight ends are going to play a bunch, which is good news for Ladd McConkey and whoever the wide receiver 2 is. It's terrible news for the wide receiver 3. I don't think Keenan Allen will be back. So that's kind of how that offensive scheme shakes out. I don't think we should take a quarterback here, even if I love Drake May.
What do you think about Colston Loveland here?
I'm down for Loveland or Pitts. I want to let's try one more round and see if they come back.
What do you want to do here?
Probably won't. Let's take Garrett Wilson. I just hope the Jets. I mean, he's such a good player. Right now, he's in that.
He feels very McLaurin.
Exactly. We got to figure out like the quarterback proof label only applies to floor, right? Like Terry McLaurin, 1,000 yards every year. Andre Johnson, Hall of Fame career, but did Andre Johnson never had double-digit touchdowns because he never played with a quarterback that could run a good offense, right? Yep. Chris, look at Brandon Cooks. Like when he played with Breeze and Brady, he was scoring 9 touchdowns. When he played with other quarterbacks, he was scoring 3, 4. So like Terry McLaurin being quarterback proof, he had a bunch of years where he scored 5, 6, 7 touchdowns. Then when he played with Jaden McDaniels, what happened? 13 touchdowns, right? So we just got to hope the Jets figure it out. And there's not a lot of free agent quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers is off the table. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Like Malik Willis isn't going to change your fortune. They might just, it's really a tough situation. If I'm a free agent, I also don't want to go play for Woody Johnson's organization under any circumstances.
No, I think that's why they're still looking for their head coach. I mean, it's a bit of a toxic situation where, I mean, they're not exactly staring down the barrel of David Culley, but they might be a little closer than they think.
The thing about the NFL that really stinks, and this is why, like, my opinion is that if you're a fan of a team, you are allowed to change teams if you truly hate the owner. That's the one reason for me. 2 reasons actually. If the team moves, and you truly hate the owner, then you can change teams. Like changing over like players or things like that, I think is silly because that can always change. But the bad owners stay bad. The Cardinals have been a team for 100 years. They have 7 playoff wins. The Texans just tied them this year with 7. They've been a team since 2002. The Patriots were a joke when the Sullivans owned them. People don't remember. I barely remember because I was very young. The Patriots were a literal laughingstock, and then good ownership took over and changed everything. Think about the 49ers, like when they were buying Jets and getting all the free agents and getting, Deion Sanders and all those guys, that was all ownership, man. And I think some of these bad teams are just going to stay bad until something changes. So I have a hard time investing in players for those teams in Dynasty. It sucks, but shout out to our Garrett Wilson pick.
Right, exactly. Yeah. We are through 4 rounds here. Devon Achane, Ashton Genty, Ladd McConkey, and Garrett Wilson, our first 4 picks thus far, and we are up on the clock. World's our oyster here. Right. We're 2-2 here. I mean, we're looking at Jordan Tyson, Christian Watson just got taken. Ibuka's there. Kyle Pitts is there.
I like Pitts. Thoughts? I usually wait on tight end, but I like Pitts here. The thing with Pitts is that now that Stefanski's there, I like the way he uses the tight end. I like the way that if Pitts stays, it will be because here's the deal. Pitts and his agent are definitely in the Evan Engram world of we can go anywhere we want. You want to catch passes. You don't want to be an inline blocker. Let's just find the right spot. And Evan Engram did that going to the Jaguars to play with Doug Peterson, right? So if he stays, it's likely because he's promised that he's going to be in the Harold Fannin role. And even if they bring over Njoku from the Browns, who's a free agent, that's not going to change the role for Pitts.
Right.
Or if he leaves, he's not going to go sign somewhere that has like 3 good wide receivers where he's going to have to be Cade Otton. He's going to go somewhere where he gets to essentially play wide receiver. So I think right now is a good time to get value on Pitts. What do you think here, man? Do we go Mekhi Lemon? He's been such a divisive player, but I love drafting divisive players in best ball.
Yeah, because you're gonna get a varied price on him. Like we got him a few picks after ADP right now, and look, I mean, pull my arm wanted to take a young, sexy rookie.
Well, best ball is where I join you, brother. Best ball is where I join you because unlike redraft, like a 12-team redraft league, where you can get by with mediocrity. Like if Mekhi Lemon is bad, we lose. If he's okay, we lose. If he's pretty good, we lose, dude. You know, so might as well take those like crazy divisive rookies because what if he's awesome?
I mean, would you rather have him or Alec Pierce, who's a free agent, or Stephon Diggs another year older, or Marvin Harrison, who might just be Rashad Bateman at this point?
Right. Pierce is kind of cool in best ball, but like Mekhi Lemon could be what Pierce does and everything. Like look
Pierce is Diaby Brown who has the juice.
Yeah, Pierce is basically if you just made JSN only run deep routes. Like, right. You know what I mean? Like, not that he could do all the things JSN does, but both those guys were the top 2 guys in the league in 40+ yard catches. It's just Pierce doesn't do anything else, which in best ball is fine. But what if Mekhi Lemon comes out and he does everything? You know?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking, and that would have been nice to get Herbert coming back. But look,
I kind of was down. Okay, let me ask you this one because I know you hate doing this, which I am much more willing to do this. What are your thoughts on Marvin Harrison Jr.? You are better.
Knowing that he's gone. No, he's gone. That we don't have to take him.
You're better at avoiding falling knives than I am. I know that for a fact.
I just look. My eyes have shown me the evidence. I just don't see the vision for Marvin Harrison, at least in this current iteration. I maybe want to see him in a different offense with a different head coach with a different uniform. Hopefully that uniform is not in the XFL. It's in the NFL, but
he's not going to the XFL. Dude, I'm telling you,
no.
I think.
What do you think about Fannin here?
I think it's too much investment in tight end.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is.
Okay.
I think it's too early right now.
Jackson Dart, build some giants.
I could do Dart. Yeah, and then we only need 2 quarters. Right now, I think in this contest with what we've invested, we only need 2 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends.
Right. This is we have the extra. That's the thing.
Is that 20 rounds?
It's 20. So
okay.
It's typically
yeah, we can do whatever we want.
Right, exactly.
But our third tight end and our third quarterback are going to be probably in Darts. That like 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
Right. Which I mean that's because that's a spot. And I saw someone in the chat. Oh, it was Jamie. Jamie, what up, dude? Thoughts on the late round QB strategy making comeback? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it was great. My top rostered. I mean, crazy thing.
Before you get going on that, we got to make this pick here. Because we're 20 seconds. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 1 right now. We can take a look. Jacoby Myers, I'm totally down for that Liam Cohen offense. Basically, it's Chris Godwin.
I love this range. Pittman, Pearsall, Myers, Wan'Dale Robinson. Any one of those guys would do it.
Who are you feeling?
You make the call, dude.
I like Myers.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, good player. They gave him an extension pretty quickly. I think Travis Hunter, based on the comments, is going to be a part-time guy, right? And that role, like you said, Chris Godwin, Cooper Kupp, it's what the offense is built around. It's why they got rid of Christian Kirk. It's why they got rid of Evan Ingram. They knew that this slot flanker was going to be the primary guy. And they tried Travis Hunter. I mean, it sucks that Travis Hunter got hurt because he just started getting into that role when he got hurt.
Might be better for him long term because if that's where you're going to make your money if you're going to be basically a full-time corner versus wide receiver. That might be better for his bank account.
Yeah, true. Chris Johnson famously said that CJ2K said he would have played corner if he could go back and do it again.
Yeah, I mean, look, you could still play in packages. You can still play like 25-30% of routes, and you'll still get that high yards per route run and targets per route run because you're going to be on the field. And when you're on the field, you're obviously there for a reason. You're going to get targeted, but you don't have to go through the wear and tear of because you've got wide receivers there. Like Parker Washington is obviously no slouch now, and you still got Brian Thomas, you still got Jacoby Myers, you got Brenton Strange. Like that's a log jam of guys.
Mm-hmm.
That you got to fit into.
Yeah, it does suck long term for them, and that's how important it was. They immediately went out and got Myers. They probably, if they knew what they had in Parker Washington, maybe they wouldn't even have done that, But I think they got plenty of options now. And BTJ, there's still room for him to grow into that role. Like they ask him to play a very difficult role, which is what Mike Evans does. And when you're not Mike Evans, it's just you're going to face the top corner every week playing out there. And if you're not truly dominant, then they just go away from you, and it's he's got work to do because I don't think that role is going to change for him. It's not beneficial to the team to swap Myers or Washington and put them on the outside. So Beat DJ ends up the sacrificial X. If you could take the prime Buccaneers and somehow convince somehow put Godwin on the outside and Evans in the slot and convince the defense to cover Godwin the way that they always covered Evans, Evans would have had 2,000 yards. You know what I mean? It's like, but he's just bigger. He can beat the jam. It's unfortunate part of the game that he has to play the much harder role.
Is this a Wandale pick with Dart?
Yeah, I like that a lot because if we go Wandale with Dart, we get the correlation and also, he's a free agent, so we don't know if he's going to be back. But I think they would be wise to bring him back.
It would be, yeah,
it would be smart. And now with guys like McConkey and Wilson, Myers, and Wandale, all of our picks, and this is something we talked about at the beginning of the show. You alluded to it, building a room, right? Now we have four very safe guys in McConkey, Wilson, Myers, and Wandale in terms of floor. And we have high risk, high reward, and Mekhi Lemon, but the rest of our wide receiver room should all be high risk, right?
Yeah.
There's no reason not to try and shoot the moon because we have that safety.
It don't get us, and all these guys have upside too, especially with the coaching upside with McConkey. If that's going to get more condensed, obviously Garrett Wilson, if they can figure something out at quarterback and just the whole culture of that team. I'm not banking on that. Oh, we're up back up here. So, what are we thinking here? Because I know we got 10 seconds. It's
maybe Kenneth Gainwell, just to give ourselves some semblance of floor as our third running back, because like the rest of those guys, man, what is exactly the role going to be for those guys? Zach Charbonnet just tore his ACL. Aaron Jones is older. Tajay Spears is kind of as of late, a pure pass catching back. Jacoby Krosky-Merritt didn't really earn.
He was fine in the beginning, but he could not play. He couldn't play over Chris Rodriguez. That's concerning.
Yeah, I mean that turns into a destination for a free agent running back. It turns into
one of the rookies.
I could see what happens if Kenneth Walker goes there. You know what I mean? Like that could easily happen. You never really know with situations like that where it's like so many times we've gotten so excited about these players and then we realize the team made no investment in them. And what if they look at the success of that player and say, let's just get a better player, right? We watched. How many times have we seen that happen? We saw it happen with Dameon Pierce. We saw it happen with Phillip Lindsay. We saw it happen with Michael Carter. People were excited for Michael Carter on the Jets. And then they were like, oh, Michael Carter did something. Let's get a running back in here. And they drafted Breece Hall. People were excited for Tyler Algier. It happens more often than not, I feel like, with anybody drafted in the 4th, 5th, or 6th, or 7th or undrafted rounds. So
you're not going to have a guy like, Kyron Williams is the exception more than the rule.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like the thing is, they went out and got the guy and tried that. We've seen it happen a couple times, but it's not like they didn't try. They drafted Blake Corum in the 2nd round. The Chris Carson with the Seahawks. Chris Carson was able to keep his job, but they drafted Rashad Penny in the 1st round. Rashad Penny just didn't hit. So these teams are ready and willing to try and replace these guys. So it doesn't always happen like that, but just keep that in mind. Like the Rams. When the Rams drafted Blake Corum, I think in their mind, we're using a 2nd round pick on this guy. He is going to be the guy. And Kyron Williams just kind of put his foot down.
Yeah. We're currently at 1-3-5-1 right now. Jackson Dart's our quarterback. Devon Achane, Ashton Genty, Kenneth Gainwell, Lad McConkey, Garrett Wilson, Mekhi Lemon, Jacoby Myers, Wandale Robinson, and then Kyle Pitts as our tight end.
Perfect place to be.
Exactly.
Perfect
through 10 rounds.
Dallas Goedert, dude. The player that you draft because you're supposed to.
Hey, go on Fantasy Alarm. I wrote up the tight end 1 case on Dallas Goedert. I didn't see the run game stuff happening with him, but he
was great in best ball because it was all touchdowns, right? What do you have, 11 touchdowns?
Yeah, and he stayed healthy pretty much the whole season too,
which he has not done in years.
Right. That's the one thing. It's hard to bank on that, but look, I mean, remember the famous case of Keenan Allen where he had the injury prone label because he missed one season.
Right. I think rookie tight ends are gonna be steamed up just because of the trend lately, which
But Dallas Goedert's the perfect, boring, safe tight end. And these are tight ends too.
let me see the tight end board.
Right. Which it is all these safe guys with Jake Ferguson, Hunter Henry.
Let's wait because we might be able to get him next round. Let's take somebody.
I actually, you know who I do like? It's a little late. I was gonna say Kamani Vidal. I'll just take him anyway. I do like Kamani Vidal if they're gonna get two backs in there, and I don't hate getting. Well, we didn't. It's not like we got Hampton there, but I do think Vidal has a role in this offense too, knowing how McDaniel does kind of, has the propensity to use multiple backs as well. So I do like that. And you got to figure, Miami typically more run heavy too. So yeah, I do like that.
In worlds where you don't get Hampton, why not take a shot there? Because, hey, who knows? If Hampton goes down, at least we know we love the scheme too.
Right.
See, like now we go back, and if we want Goddard, we can take him. I think we can. Let's go to wide receiver again. I'm still in on Godwin.
Yeah. What is wrong with Chris Godwin?
I don't know, man. I think he's still going to be the wide receiver too. I mean, if Mike Evans isn't back, then they might
Goddard or Godwin.
Let's go Godwin here. I think there's a whole group of tight ends.
Godwin, baby.
Like we can go, in Rod we trust. We can go with I don't think Hunter Henry is necessarily a massive downgrade from Dallas Goedert if we have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we are in the throes of, and Goddard just went, but I don't hate it. Even Dalton Schultz, I don't hate. Juwan Johnson, you couldn't get me to hate him. AJ Barner,
I mean,
not terrible.
We're talking about Goddard was tight end 7, Juwan was tight end 8, Henry was tight end 9, Schultz was tight end 10. In that group, just give me one of them at a decent value. And I know people in the chat, they want me to have a firm stance on these rookie tight ends. I really don't yet. I just have a basic knowledge of some of them. So for me, I'm not going crazy on it. And I think people are going to be overdrafting them just a little bit because of how we basically had 5 special tight ends that were drafted at special spots. Like Kyle Pitts, obviously drafted super high. Brock Bowers, super high. 2 first-round rookies. I'm not sure if these tight ends are going to go in the first round or not. Eli Stowers is a guy that has to basically get a wide receiver role right away, or he's not going to have any value. It's an interesting landscape. So for me, I'm probably not going to go crazy drafting rookie tight ends that early. Later is when I'll take my stabs.
Yeah, and you and me are pretty aligned in where, especially with these rookies, where we kind of want to see what kind of scheme they're going to be in before we're really making a definitive stance on any of these guys. Where because me famously watching them run in shorts in an indoor track does nothing for me. But I want to see Harold Fannin getting drafted to the Browns. Very intentional decision. That there was obviously an opening there. They didn't really get a slot receiver. So that was very, that seemed really good. I like that. Versus if Harold Fannin was a Raven, he's probably Charlie Kohler.
I mean, 2 of the, let's go here. Let's go. Do we go Aaron Jones? I mean, we don't even know what he's going to look like here.
I mean, he's aged pretty well. It's not like he's falling completely off. I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
because these are guys we're going to be able to get at a discount.
What if Kyler Murray's a starting QB for the Cardinals?
I don't want to live in a world where I have to think about that.
I think possible. It's just, I'm gonna have a bunch of shares this time of year because say what you will, he's QB 8 all time in fantasy points per game when he does play. But I mean, it's a tough spot. I will say with your point on the combine and looking at guys run around in their underpants or whatever, some of the best teams in the NFL, like the Rams and the Jaguars, who come from the same tree, Les Snead and James Gladstone, They don't even they send like 2 people to the combine, and they don't even do their top 30 visits. Isn't that
So
crazy?
probably time to take another quarterback here. That somebody's going to have a pulse.
Yeah. I'm taking Kyler.
We can do it.
Do we have any correlation with the other guys there?
We don't, but we also don't know where he's going to be anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, well, I was looking at just like the other guys around him, like JJ. We don't have any Vikings. We don't have any
Falcons
Falcons. No, we don't have any Colts really. We have so yeah, no, I'm with it, dude. And like we don't honestly, he's gonna start somewhere. I think he's gonna start for the Cardinals. But what I would say is like they don't even do their top 30 visits. And Les Snead was like, we do more work than everybody else. We have more regional scouts than anybody else. We have people that go and talk to these people and talk to their teachers and talk to their parents and talk to them. A 30-minute or hour-long visit with somebody, me personally meeting them for an hour, isn't going to do anything. In fact, if anything, it's going to give me some sort of bias. So he's like, we don't do those. We don't do any of that. We have our own people that track speed. We don't go to the combine. And those are the teams finding all the sleepers, right?
Yeah.
They're finding Puka Nakua. And Brad Holmes also worked for Les Snead, and he was the back-to-back executive of the year. And he found Alma St. Brown, and he found all these other guys. They're finding the Puka Nakuas. They're finding Kyron Williams. Like, I don't know. I love the combine. So it hurts me to say that it's not as important. You know, it's not.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just because we're all pining for something
I
NFL
love it. That's
related.
why I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
But I will say this, for tight ends, straight line speed does matter, but then nobody runs.
Yeah. I mean,
nobody runs,
famously Gunnar Helm, didn't he run with like a massive
broke his yeah, he destroyed his ankle. You can watch the video. So that's such a good point because I'm trying to remind people, throw that time out the window because you can watch his ankle physically, like the ankle bump, you can watch that physically touch the ground. And then he got back up there and ran again. I would fire my agent immediately. Somebody's got to grab him and be like, don't do that.
Like, brother, save him from himself.
Yeah, he ran like a 4.85. He ran twice. That was on the first attempt. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Oh man.
Literally cost himself money, I think.
Yeah, well, he kind of came on a little bit, encroaching Chigakonklo's snaps and stuff like that. We'll see if he can be anything more than a tight end too.
Travis Kelce's gonna play, dude. I'm telling you right now. I think he's gonna be back.
You down for it?
Dude, I kind of feel like, yeah, like he's gonna be back. This guy has been top 5 in fantasy every year for a decade. This year he finished tight end 3. Like, I don't even think he's gonna be top 5 this year. But if he's tight end 7,
he doesn't need to be where we took him.
No, if he's tight end 7, which is what Dallas Goedert was, right? Like, who cares? And the thing is, okay, Mahomes is hurt. He might not be back right away. This is best ball, baby. 3 weeks in a cloud of dust. That's all we care about. The last 3 weeks, right?
Yeah. If he was going to retire, I feel like we would have probably heard about it by now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it would be so weird of him, I feel, to retire to just
in March.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if he has one of those contract bonuses that are going to force it. I'll check right now while you
like when the league year ends and
the league year. A lot of guys.
We're back up here.
I can't bring myself to draft Tank Dell, but I'm rooting for him. Or just take a rookie, take the top rookie.
Let's take Zachariah Branch here.
Do you know anything about him?
I know he has a cool name.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
The passes a vibe check.
Yeah, with flying colors.
Yeah.
Kind of an important battle. Kelsey does have a roster bonus on 314. $11.5 million.
Oh.
So we're gonna know by March 14th. And I'll tell you what, we're getting Kelsey outside the top 10 tight ends right now, and getting him on a few rosters. I mean, like, I don't think you should go too far above like 20% right now, but just to place a few of those scratchies, because like when if and when it's confirmed he's going to be back, he'll go a lot earlier.
Yeah, I think we just took Devin Duvernay, by the way.
Yeah, well,
Zachariah Branch. I think we just took because it's never the greatest sign when you go on his Wikipedia page and it adds return specialist on it.
That's good.
So the vibes on the name were good, but the Wikipedia first blurb vibe was not great either.
The NFL's obsession with drafting guys and saying, oh well, worst case he'll just play special teams for us. Like every one of those guys,
not how it works.
It's every one of those guys labeled a massive bust, and the GM gets fired. Like, and guess what? A lot of those guys are still in the league playing special teams, and no one cares. Like
Laquan Treadwell,
right? And Greg Dortch, Andy Isabella. I mean, like,
yeah,
Andy
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, it's like a lot of those guys do play special teams forever, and you're Josh Jacobs. And
because I still don't get why they put him back to return the kick in that playoff game. I don't get that. That's like Hall of Fame game levels of what is going on.
Yeah, especially with that particular player.
Yeah.
So what's our build like right now? 2-5-7-2?
2-5-7-2 right now. Our quarterbacks are Dart and Kyler Murray. HN Genti, Gainwell, Vidal, Aaron Jones, Lad McConkey, Wilson, Mekhi Lemon, Myers, Wandale, Godwin, Zachariah Branch, Hitz and Kelsey.
All right, what do we got for upside here? Moondog.
Really no. Iron Manor.
Yeah, we could do that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, he was playing over everybody by the end of the year.
Right.
Rookie quarterback. They just looks like they're going to get Brian Dable. So,
yeah,
is that final?
I believe it is. Like, so, yeah, I wanted to ask you about that too, because I think the Titans hire was going to be: are they going to finally kind of turn a corner? Or are they going to get the total Titans guy? Saleh feels like a total Titans guy. Dable is like halfway there. Like, I'm not sure that like any of the ills that the Titans have had in the past few seasons are going to be fixed, at least on the surface, by Saleh and Dable.
But they could have been worse, though, right? Like, it could have done what the Titans do, which is like Mike McCarthy, right?
Is Dable a Cam Ward hire to kind of mold into something?
For sure. Because, I mean, he worked with Josh Allen, and we forget that he kind of started the Daniel Jones resurgence. Got Daniel Jones paid a lot of money when, at the time, Jones was not particularly incredible.
We're back up here. We got running backs.
If we're going running backs, I mean, dude,
Devin Neal.
Najee's not. Yeah, I guess Devin Neal, right? He at least potentially has a job.
Yeah.
But Alvin Kamara, I mean, the contract that Mickey Loomis gave him brings him back for sure. Like, unless he retires, they gave him a 2-year extension mid-season last year. It's basically all guaranteed money. Mickey Loomis needs to be fired.
Well, that dude's been kicking the can down on the Saints for our lifetime. 5
straight years they have been over 30 at this time of the year. 5 straight years, $30 million over the cap every year.
That's why we say the cap is a myth.
We say that, but it's still, I mean, like
it's a thing, but it can be maneuvered.
It can be maneuvered, but like it's just I feel like you're settling for mediocrity when you do that every year. Like, you got to at some point create some leverage. You got to at some point like tank it, and because that's like what teams like the Lions did, where they just, when they let Golladay leave and they let Marvin Jones leave, and they carried $50 million over to the next year. Not only were they not 30 million, they had 50 extra $1 million carryover that other teams didn't have. Like, you know what I mean? At some point, you got to let go of part of the rope so that you can get the other part on the other side. You know what I mean? Like, they are just pulling their sweatshirt all the way tight every single year. And then right before the season starts, they go like this. Whereas, like, you could just 1 year finally say, okay, buy Taysom Hill and buy to all these guys and just actually tank and actually
come out on the other side.
Come out on the other side
with
a bunch of capital and with a bunch of money. And then you can go out and get the key pieces and give them a long-term contract and not have these weird situations where it's like their key pieces they've paid are Kamara and Juwan Johnson. Juwan Johnson got $18 million guaranteed. What are we doing? I like Juwan Johnson, but like, is that
for that price?
He should not be one of the highest paid guys on your offense. I don't know. I hate Mickey Loomis. He's the longest tenured GM that doesn't also own the team.
He's got to have something on somebody.
He does. He's like best friends with the owners, man. It's like those guys got to go, man. Get rid of him. Get rid of Duke Tobin and that weird group where Tobin doesn't even negotiate the contracts. It's like a husband and wife. Awful.
We're back up. Do we want? Is there any of these quarterbacks you want, or are we just taking? We're in the 19th, by the way.
I mean, Pro Bowl quarterback Shedeur Sanders there.
Oh my Atlanta.
He's viable starter. I mean, like he's the last starting quarterback. I hate it, but like
I do hate it. There's
do you think Rodgers going to coach Rodgers going to be the quarterback for the Steelers again now that they hired McCarthy?
No. I mean, I know Rodgers had his beef with McCarthy and was a little bit more complimentary with him after the fact. I don't think they're going to run that back again. I can't see that.
It feels weird, man. That feels like the Buccaneers hiring Belichick after Brady leaves.
Right. Yeah.
I think they're going to be back, bro. I think they're going to bury the hatchet. I think the two of them have probably had private conversations where we're like, look, we're about to be out of this league. Let's just do it like we did it.
Hear me out, by the way.
Bryce Lance? Is this guy white?
He's Trey Lance's brother who played for NDSU.
So no. Okay, we'll get him in there. What's the he's a wide receiver?
He's he's like a 6'3" wide receiver, red zone guy. I've watched his entire college career. Didn't do much his first 2 years, but then he's like, think of him as like a thinner Mike Williams, but without the recklessly endangering his own life.
Yeah, Bryce Lance. Are they serious with that name?
I mean,
Lance.
Yeah, I mean,
Bryce Lance.
I think he'll probably have the better NFL career, honestly.
So you think he's the Amon-Ra St. Brown to Trey Lance's Equanimous St. Brown?
I think he is the Brandon Zylstra to Shane Zylstra. He'll play a little bit, but
I like Shane Zylstra. All right, go over to the tight end tab.
I do too. Him and Brandon went to school literally down the road at Concordia.
Go to the tight end tab. Eli Stowers, baby. Let's go. Let's do it.
Well, we'll have to do him on the next draft.
Why?
That was the 20th round.
What the heck, dude?
What? A room of Pitts and Kelsey doesn't do anything for you?
And Stowers, it would have had everything. It would have had.
What's the deal with Stowers?
So he's the classic device.
Is he a guy that I know I'm gonna like in June?
He's the exact kind of guy you and I would fall for.
Okay.
He's like too small to play in line. He's 6'4", 235. He's built like Engram and Fannin and those guys.
Should never block a day in his life.
Never block. He cannot block, but he flashes. You know what I mean? Like,
okay,
he's going to either be something or nothing, and that's the kind of guy that we go for. We fall for. But I mean, some people rank him as high as tight end 2 in this class. And then guys like Max Toscano, who I really enjoy his content, he hates him because Max likes real tight ends, right? Like Max likes guys that are 6'6", 260, two-way, inline, hand in the dirt, but can also play split out. Like Max likes like George Kittle, Tucker Kraft, and everyone should, right? But So Max looks at this guy and he's like, dude, this guy could be Anthony Ferguson all over again. Could be Cameron Brate.
It could be Tony Poljan.
Could be Tony Poljan, dude. He could be any number one. He could be Eli Wolf.
Ethan. I was gonna say Ethan Wolf too.
Eli was Ethan was a lot bigger. Eli was our guy there. So
man, this is like we could remember some guys with just tight ends.
Just the big slot tight ends. Who's that one that the Rams drafted? No, I can't remember.
Jacob Harris.
And we fought for tight end eligibility on Yahoo.
Oh my God. You ready for one more of these?
I do. So it's 2 o'clock, man. Unfortunately I gotta jump. I didn't realize. I thought we were doing 1 to 2. I got a meeting come up, brother.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, man. Let me pull up just the recap real quick before we get on out of here. Completed. I'm gonna do some more of these today though.
Yeah, that
Offline.
rocks. Good. Let's get back on and do another one. Either on my channel or I'll come back on here.
We'll do it.
I thought we were doing 1 hour show. That was my bad.
No problem, no problem. Jackson Dart, Kyler Murray, Shador Sanders. Look, this might not pass the vibe check, but I think we've got 2.5 starters here.
Bro, that's chaos. That QB room. It didn't feel like that during the draft, right? It didn't feel like as much chaos. And now that I look at it, that is
the Mickey Loomis, the tight neck right there. That's what that is.
Yeah, that's crazy. That could be one of those three guys is going to give us darn close to 0, I think, this year.
Yeah, that's going to be this is going to be that's one of the quarterback rooms of all time.
I had a lot of quarterback rooms like that were like I advanced I had a few teams where I advanced and I had no quarterbacks, or just like one scraggly quarterback. Like I had a lot of like Russell Wilson teams that kind of snuck through, like just bad.
Yeah, it's funny to look at like some of the season long teams that the guys you brought to the final, like guys that are bringing like Elijah Mitchell into your BBM final.
I tweeted out about one. I didn't tweet the team, but I tweeted. I was like, I'm literally rooting against one of my advancing best ball teams because
you don't want people to know.
I don't want people to see it. I don't want anyone to see it. If they see it, it would be like one of my teams. If it won Best Ball Mania, it would ruin it. Like,
brother, it's over.
No correlation.
It's over.
Yeah, no, it's awful. No correlations at all of any kind. Literally one quarterback that was, it was like Stafford. Like people would look at that team and be like, I'm not playing anymore. Like if this is the team that wins, if this is the team that wins, I don't even want to play.
I'm a fraud.
Yeah, so it's best for everyone that team.
Running backs though, Devon Achane, Ashton Genty, Kenny Gainwell, Kamani Vidal, Aaron Jones, Devin Neal. Like I think we got a little bit better there. Like I know Kenny Gainwell. I know it's not like the sexiest name, but the dude's gonna have a role. Like I think it's time to buck the preconceived notion of what Kenny Gainwell was versus what he is now. Clearly a contributor in the NFL, whether it's, I don't think it's going to be an every down role, but he's going to have a role. No question about it.
Yeah. I think once we drafted Achane, Genty, Gainwell, and especially Vidal, that's where our last 2 spots should have just been like whatever rookie, like any, you know what I mean? Just like taking wild upside stabs. Because I don't know if I think with the start we had, Achane, Genty, Gainwell, we already made our bets. If Achane and Genty get hurt, we're done. So I feel like at that stage, we have a lot invested in safety, and we should have just gone higher upside. Though Devin Neal, he could start.
Yeah. Wide receivers, Ladd McConkey, Garrett Wilson, Mekhi Lemon, Jacoby Myers, Wan'Dale Robinson, Godwin, Zachariah, Devon Duvernay, Branch, Alec Iomatter, and Bryce Lance. Not a homer pick.
No, I like that. I like it. We did exactly what we said we were going to do there, which is got a lot of safety. It's pure. It's safety and upside, where if we're going to draft 9 players at one position, we should have 3 or 4 rookies at that position.
Yep, exactly. And the rest of, all those other guys are going to contribute meaningfully to what, whether it's whatever team they're on. And then Kyle Pitts and Kelsey. Like
to win the big board the year before last, you basically had to have to finish towards the top in the big board the year before last. You basically had to have Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
So you got to give yourself a shot.
Yeah, man.
And then Pitts and Kelsey, we should instead of Bryce Lance, we should have had Eli Stars. I wish I had known. I would have just booked out 2 hours because I would love to do the Stowers draft, man. That was my fault.
All good. We're gonna. You know what? We can. I'll put him on the queue. He's gonna be right in our queue. We'll make sure we get him next time. But
we'll get another one. Let's do another one in like 2 weeks, bro. We'll do it on my channel.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm down. You know me. All right, man. Thanks for coming on though. Appreciate it. We'll let you get out of here, but Make sure you subscribe to Optimus Fantasy. Again, Nate and Cameron White are at the Senior Bowl as we speak. So there's going to be a lot more about rookies. I will definitely learn some stuff about some of these rookies. You should too. So come subscribe, check us out, like, do all that stuff, things of that nature. For Andrew Cooper, I'm Kevin Tompkins, and we will say, see you later.
Thank you.